What's up, y'all? What's up, y'all? It's your boy Versatile Reg, back with another video. About to do a live reaction to Dead Space 2. Now, keep in mind, I played every single Dead Space that ever came out. But my personally favorite Dead Space game was Dead Space 2 in 2011 when it came out with that multiplayer, the Necromorphs versus the humans. Oh my god! But it had some kind of imbalance when it comes to necromorphs and humans because it used to be OP. It used to get overran by fucking necromorphs. Well, anyway, we'll do a live reaction to this video. The thing is though, I was at work. I seen it. I was listening to it, but I didn't actually see it. So I had my AirPods in at work listening to it. So when they announced it, I said, okay, cool. There's gonna be a video I'm gonna make when I get home. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna watch the trailer, but it's like the devs going deep into it, the mechanics, deep into the story and stuff like that. I guess they really go deep into it, but it gives an idea of what we expect when it comes out. So let's go, let's go watch it. Let's watch it. Come on. Game engine footage.
Dead Space is back with a remake of the beloved 2008 original currently in production. And while the series has remained dormant for years, the developers at EA Motive are hoping to bring the nightmares of Isaac's journey aboard the Ishimura back to life using the latest console technology to create a stunning new take on the adventure. Ahead of its reveal, IGN spoke to two leads on the project about why the team chose to remake the original, how they're staying faithful to that visceral classic while injecting some new life into it, and the team's unique approach to involving fans in the game's development.
Dead Space remaking a horror classic.
The foundation on which we're starting is that we are rebuilding completely the game, but in Frostbite, in the new engine. So the original game was made in a really old engine. So we have all the original assets. So for example, as level design, the foundation currently of the game on which now we're iterating, we started with the original level design collisions of the original Dead Space. And what's funny in that actually is that you can see also some of the iterations that were made prior to.
I want to say this: when this game came out, it was way ahead of its time. It was so much detail in the games. There's so much detail in the level. There's so much detail in the environment, the necromorphs, the humans. You can see the blood, the limbs come off. So it's, when you shoot a limb off, it kind of remind you of like Resident Evil 5 and 4. Like we shoot the head off or shoot a limb off, the tentacle come out the body. This game was like that. This game was beautiful. I like playing this shit. And then the fucking sound. So imagine playing on PS5 with the 3D technology that's built in the PS5. Imagine that playing this game. Shit gonna be fucking crazy. Crazy, fool. Crazy.
To ship by the team. Like in the first chapter, you can see some corridors that they wanted to do first in a certain way, and then you can understand why they change it for technical constraint or other things. So we also have that type of history in the data that is really interesting. But then in terms of visual, sound, gameplay, everything, we are rebuilding all of those assets. We are not porting them. It's not appraising the texture or adding more faces, more polygons to the model. It's really rebuilding all those elements, shooting all the animations, etc. And then there are a couple of elements on which we want to iterate and try to add improvements to it. Whether it's on the horror, on the immersion, or even on the gameplay, there are elements that we don't want to change the experience. We really want to stay true to that experience, and that's why we've started to work with some passionate people in the community to make sure that we still nail that experience, that it's Dead Space.
Please, open fire! Open fire! Get the power! Come on! Got it! Isaac, get the hell out of there!
But then, with stuff like with the really fast SSDs that we have currently with the new generation, okay, that's probably really interesting things that we can do in terms of creating a more immersive Ishimura, or other elements like, for example, taking inspiration in what comes after, what they did, let's say, on Dead Space 2 with the zero gravity and how you move around in zero gravity compared to Dead Space 1. That's definitely something that is really interesting to us and that we're playing with, and that's how we are approaching changes to the original, is through the lens of those improvements we want to make.
Well, clearly, next generations of console enable us to have ray trace reflection and volumetric effects, or even fluid simulation for these effects. 3D audio with understanding where the sound comes from, having the right propagation in the corridors, making it come from the vents above you or behind you. These are all things that we'll be able to expand on to increase, again, on the level of immersion and make sure that, like Roman said, the Ishimura is alive. It's dying, but it's still alive, and it has a voice. And throughout your journey over the chapters of the game, you hear it progress. And that's the type of evolution that we want to make sure that the players notice when they play the game.
One thing for me that is really iconic of Dead Space, it's often, at least at the beginning of the game when they're playing a little bit with your senses, you get that whisper in your ear that is constant. And that's pretty creepy and scary in the game. That now imagine with the current 3D audio technologies, how you will be constantly like, what the f- it's that.
So like when Dead Space had the Necromorphs come out the vents, so imagine having, like you were saying, he was looking around searching like with a headset. So imagine a Necromorph coming from way down the fucking aisle, out of a fucking vent, or out of the top of the roof or the ceiling. Imagine them coming down there and you trying to find the motherfucker. You can't find it. You hear it, but you can't find it. It adds a level to expense. Add levels for suspense. So the new technology they got in Xbox and the PS5 is gonna be crazy, bro. It's gonna be fucking crazy good. And look, you know me, I'm gonna play with that bitch for every single light on, because motherfucker, it shit be crazy. I remember the other night I was playing Halo 5, Halo 5, and heard a noise outside. And man, that shit was just fucking crazy because shit random. So imagine you fucking just playing a game and you hear a bunch of necromorphs running at you. Remember the fucking little baby necromorphs? The little, I don't know if it's babies or what you want to call it. They running behind you, you can hear them. You know how scary that shit gonna be? It's just gonna be crazy, man. Let's get it.
It's me. I wish I could talk to you. I'm sorry. I'm sorry about everything.
Everything that you're gonna see in the world, every UI element, every HUD, everything is diegetic, and it's presented from the perspective of Isaac. We want to make that immersion even deeper with a fully uninterrupted experience from the start screen to the end credits. We don't want anything to pull you out of the experience, and we don't want any cut. And so that's something that we're using, like when I was speaking about faster SSDs and this kind of thing. There's not gonna be any loading. There's not gonna be any moment where we're gonna cut your experience, where we're gonna cut your camera. You can play it from the start screen to the end credits seamlessly.
As an objective that we gave early on to everyone, what we're trying to achieve is a level of immersion where you never want to put your controller down. Like, Dead Space is not a 60, 100 hour game. Like, ideal scenario, you don't actually want to get up to go to the bathroom because you're so immersed within the universe, and you want to play it through in one sit down.
For us, what is important, the foundation is it's Dead Space 1 story. So by default, that's what is canon. But then there are some improvements that we want to make to that story, and not necessarily improvements because those things were not really working in the original. More improvements because of what came after, and we're like, oh man, that's interesting if we could be referencing that, or if we could make a link to that doesn't feel like they tried to retrofit it afterward.
So we're doing it from a narrative standpoint, but we're also looking.
I like what he said, because a lot of people talk about how sometimes Dead Space 1, 2, and 3 don't add up. You know, something missing in the story, and something feel off about the story. So I'm glad he said he can come back and re-improve or refine the story. So I guess to make more sense. So when it do, and it kind of lets you know that they're gonna make another Dead Space and other Dead Space after that, because when he say he wants to take some things and like, oh, okay, this add up, and this right here is gonna add up to this story, or this gonna add up. So he probably gonna redefine the whole Dead Space genre, as in the story. It might keep like the main, kind of like the main plot, but he might have implement some things that's gonna improve the story, so when people are confused. Cause I believe they have Dead Space books too. I might be wrong, but I believe so. So anyway, like the story, they felt like they could have done Dead Space 1 better. So all the stories that's coming out, or Dead Space 2 and 3, which is canon, they're going to kind of piece everything back again. So I guess like what's that movie with the Justice League? Remember how Justice League had 2 different versions that came out, and then the last version that just came out earlier this year, it gave more depth and it's a more complete story. This is what they're gonna do. They're gonna make it more in depth and have a more complete story, and take some pieces and line things up so the player can understand the storyline, the plot, whatever. So I like how he iterated. I like how he said that. You know, I can't wait to play this game. I'm getting it day one.
Looking at it from a feature standpoint and the improvements and some of the content that evolved throughout the franchise. So we're looking at what can be taken and like re-injected within the first game from a feature standpoint. We're also learning from mistakes such as microtransactions, which we will not have, for instance, in our game.
Yeah, that's a good thing. I wonder why a lot of games now are retracting away from stuff like that. I think this is what I think. I think they're gonna try to make some kind of money to get off. They're gonna try to make some money somewhere else to, I guess, get more profit from. Because when a lot of games do that, they find other ways to make money off the game a certain way. So you never know. Maybe like DLC, uniforms, costume, maybe you don't know. So
on the combat, well, of course, with the new technologies that we have, we will make the dismemberment evolve a little bit, and not only to make it more gory, but maybe to have some kind of evolved mechanics around it. But does it still feel like Dead Space? Does the combat feel tense like Dead Space? Do you still feel like every round counts when you're getting to after a couple of hours of the game, this kind of thing?
For us, we don't want to be siloed and create our own bubble of the game we're making. So from the conception, we've linked, we've reached out to members of the community to create a community council to be some sort of sounding board for what we were making sure that if we're deciding to make a change, we want to be able to explain it and get told if, like, no, what are you doing? What are you thinking? You're actually breaking the game. Why are you changing this? And we've received some extremely valid feedback from that group. We're trying to meet with them on a every 2-3 weeks basis to show them content and have that ongoing discussion. And they've had access unfiltered access to what we're making from a very early point in production, which is I think something that was never done at EA, was making some people uncomfortable at first, making us uncomfortable, but that's proven extremely valuable. And I think that for a game like us, which is, a lot of people consider it a cult classic, I surely do, remaking it, we can't break it. So we need to make sure that we have that conscious that works with us, that gives us those cues when we're playing with something and like, you know what, maybe be careful about this for XYZ reason.
Can't stand in the way of God's plan, the natural order.
What's really cool is first you discover things that otherwise you might have discovered reading Reddit 2 weeks after launching the game, and you're like, oh man, I wish I knew that. So that's super useful, but also it's really energizing for the team and for the people and even for us, because when you show something and you get feedback and good reactions on what you're doing, it gives you that energy to go like, man, okay, that's cool. Let's keep pushing that. What we're remaking, we're remaking a survival horror classic game, and that's something that's really important for us, and that's also why we're working with the community on this one.
So much of the original Dead Space was on the highs and lows, managing that curve of tension, managing like I'm not sure I want to turn that corner because I don't know what's going to happen, and those surprises. So that's something that, as a message to the team and a focus for our group, is essential. Making sure that we get the right pacing to avoid going too much in a direction of action and get that scavenger loop and that slow pace. I need to make sure that every bullet counts when I play.
I've always been a fan of that genre, and I'm also a big fan of sci-fi, and that's why I really loved Dead Space. It's because it adds that unique mix of sci-fi, horror, gore, etc. And I was like really sucked into it. And I've never had before the opportunity to work on a survival horror game. And when I had the discussion with the people at Motive, they had me with 2 words, Dead Space. And I was like, yes, no, stop, you can stop here. I mean, whatever. I want to be there.
It's really kind of a love letter to fans that we want to write with this game, and we're part of those fans. So the passion that we have in making it, I hope it translates into the results of what we're seeing now and all the things that we'll be showing in the future.
There's plenty more to learn about the Dead Space remake, so be sure to head over to IGN for even more from Phil and Roman on the remake's creation, and be sure to check out the full reveal trailer. And for everything else happening aboard the Ishimura, you're already in the right place.
Alright. Yeah, I like how the devs go deep in a deep dive into the details of them remaking Dead Space. It seemed like they're really involved in it, motive, and I can't wait. It's gonna be a good ass game, and then especially I'm trying to decide what should I get it on, because ain't EA stuff is on Xbox, so I don't know if I'm gonna get it on Xbox and stream it through Xbox or get it on PS5. I don't know. It depends. I might, if I get it on PS5, I'm gonna pay for it. Xbox, I think I still gotta pay for it too. So, but I don't know. Maybe so. But I'm ready for this. It bring back I ain't gonna say a childhood memory because it came out in 2011. Well, a little bit earlier than 3 years before 2011, before the second one. But it's a good game, good horror game. I know I might can't play it at nighttime, but I damn sure gonna play that motherfucker. Then, like I said, the reason why I want to play it on PS5 because they got the 3D audio, and I know this shit gonna be fire. And I wonder, because matter of fact, it says it's only on next gen or new gen or current gen. Our gen right now, PS5, Xbox, and PC. So it might be the best performance wise. It might be PS5. And when I say performance wise, I'm speaking about the audio. I'm speaking about the haptics on the controller. So imagine, just imagine playing the PS5 controller. They got the haptics and the triggers jam up when you run out of bullets, or the controller vibrates a certain way when a necromorph is running behind you, or when you see one of them. You know how they got them huge necromorphs. Imagine feeling that rumble in your hand while trying to shoot weapons while the trigger jam. Like it's gonna be a better experience on PS5. I believe so. That's only if they use the features of the haptics on the PS5 controller. But most likely it will, because it's a next gen only. It's no PS4, no Xbox One, none of that. So, in what they try to probably pull off is probably takes a lot of power to run. The new engine they're using, it probably takes a lot of power to push out those graphic fidelities, those textures, ray tracing. Imagine ray tracing. Imagine the light on his back. You know, the light that show you about your health, how full your health is. Imagine that on your back. Imagine seeing the blood run off the necromorph once he get a kill. Imagine when necromorph take a head off of a human body and you see the blood splatter on the glass or the wall. Imagine the character models when the head cut off. Imagine the flesh being pulled apart or ripped apart, and you can see the veins and you can see the spine. Imagine that, bruh. That frostbite technology, and this might be on the same engine as Battlefield, which most likely it probably is. So imagine, we already know how Battlefield games look. The frostbite games back then they look beautiful. So imagine this. Imagine this with a 4K 60. In 4K 60. Imagine this on a monitor. See, I got one of the best monitors out. The Asus Republic of Gamers Strig. Imagine playing on $1,000 monitor with millions of different colors in real time, 144 frames, 120 frames. Imagine that, man. Imagine that. I'm excited for the motherfucker. I'm super excited. I cannot wait. But this your boy Versatile Reg. Here's the video. Like, comment, subscribe. Let's get this community up. Like I said, the channel gonna be improving. I'm gonna be streaming more on Twitch. I'm gonna be doing giveaways. I'm doing it. I'm back. I'm staying. Peace out.